Hey, everybody again. Hey, two posts in one day. Um, well, I'm going to share some things with you guys here. Been a long journey. I think that's what all of us, any human being that walks this precious planet is on. A lot of people don't understand sun worship. They're not worshiping the sun. They're worshiping the creator of who created the sun. Let's get a perspective here. Now, the sun is on fire, so therefore a lot of people that worship the sun, it's twofold. Either you're worshiping the creator that created it, or you're worshiping that bottomless pit, fiery hell that the devil worships. That's the white and the black squares, or can be referred to as white hat, black ball, white ball, all kinds of any interesting things. Now, for those that don't think that I don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to backtrack, and I'm going to show you something that happened after the fact than before the fact, and I'll show you how I got there by the last part of what I'll show you that led me to get to what I'm about ready to show you. Now, all over the world, you'll find these little things called obelisks. Now, most of you in New York City have easy access to one of these obelisks. It's right there in your Central Park. Here's some evidence that I can show you with my own film that I took with my own camera when I was able to take a trip to New York on behalf of another person that I know. I don't like mentioning names so much. It suffices to say I got to Central Park and was able to take this picture. Now, as you'll notice, signs and symbols written in stone. And for any of those that understand hieroglyphics, the bottom of this, the pedestal, there's crabs. You know, they got these little pincers that hold that stone in place, the crab. And it's chipping away at the stone. That crab is chipping away at the stone. Now, I don't know if this is really true. This is how I read it. This is my personal reading. And just give you an instance, back to that 3,000 hits that I get on this one particular video of my dad, some books he left behind. Anyone that's an adult that's watching this will probably understand it more than any of the younger generations, because do you do everything your parents tell you? Do you honor and respect them even if you don't agree with them? You go through something you don't understand one iota, you pour out your energy to please those parents for how they would like to teach you out of school. Now, my grandmother, my mom, and my dad all belonged to an organization, and I am not in no means trying to damage their reputation. They're no longer here. They're up within what they call the White Lodge in heaven, and that's not in reference to the color of one's skin. See, when we use colors, we're not necessarily referring to people. You know, for a raindrop, you can't have a rainbow without a raindrop. That's just, I mean, spray the hose into the sun, and you'll be able to see that rainbow, that prism. That prison we're all in. You know, we're all in prison. That's where prison, the word prison, comes from. The shed light there on the dark, or the good or the bad. We outside the prison are the good, and the people inside the prison are bad. There is some people that are good that are put into the prison accidentally because they got their facts all messed up, or there's a technicality or some sort of that. But what I'm going to talk about is what got me to that obelisk, that thing in Central Park that I couldn't believe. I've seen them in graveyards here and there, left and right. Those little bitty tiny obelisks. These little big sticks that's just sticking out, and then you got that triangle with all-seeing eye, and you try to understand these things, but imagine yourself being 13 years old, and you're going and you're blindfolded, and you go through stuff. I mean, you can find a lot of this on the internet, but yet as a 13-year-old, you're very confused, you're naive, you're gullible, and some cultures they say 13 is the year of becoming a man. And they have things like parties called bar mitzvahs or things of that nature. Well, in my case, I became a man through the Freemasons by becoming a Demaway. Now, the history of Demaway is that he was burned at the stake along with his three buddies because of the Pope and the King of France and the Inquisition. And they all rounded everybody up on what they call Friday the 13th. I think 01 or something along that. My memory may be off, which I really do have a very, very good memory. And here's the reason why I know this. I had an award given to me when I was 13 in December 1978. And to prove it to you, here it is. I know the lighting is off, but without showing you the names, I mean, it's Tilly Tut class. The ritual is Tilly Cut class in 1978, and I got some other awards when I was with the JCs working with the Yellow Ribbon Project during Desert Storm. Right now I'm working on a project with Green Ribbon. I like ribbons, ribbons. When they're taking that flag down, they got all these little bitty streamers flat on the flag, the little streamers, and they're like ribbons. It's you got the branch, and then they got these little streamers, and it's very interesting with me is because I didn't know what I was doing from 13 to 21. I was just doing what Mom and Dad wanted me to do, get over to the lodge and go through the chairs or present things and becoming of a man, how to be a leader. And being a leader really is basically being a follower. Because there's always someone you're following that's leading you, and then you look behind you, there's someone following you. So you're a middleman, or it gives you connections, networking, of other things of that. Now, I have nothing against nobody. I don't understand a lot of it. I know it goes back to King Solomon's temple and the building that of, but what's a obelisk got to do with King Solomon's temple? I haven't figured that one out yet. I'm still researching it. I'm always constantly researching where the trail leads me. So far, it's led me to this obelisk in Central Park. How did obelisk get to Central Park from Egypt? And it has a lot to do with the networking. There's people that lost their lives, so a stone can get somewhere around the world to be monumentized in a Central Park of New York. Now, there's three souls said of these obelisks. There's one in New York City, which is Central Park. There's one in London, and those two are mirrors of each other. And then there's one in the Vatican, which is in that big, gigantic wheel right in the middle. And then I had to laugh. I found out some of the representations, like in Washington, D.C., the fake obelisk that was made by humans, the little bitty stones here and there, and then the Masons had something to do with that. But they always refer to King Solomon's Temple. What's the obelisk got to do with King Solomon's Temple? I can't figure it out. I'm still looking, I'm reading, I'm researching, I'm trying to find the connection. And the only thing I could think of in biblical terms is the Exodus out of Egypt. I think they took the stone with them. You know, I'm going to stone you. Maybe there's more to it than what meets the eye. Maybe I have a language and I don't even know what, because I've hung around with these types of people and I picked up the language but not knowing what the language means. The cream of the crop, or little anecdotes. Don't rock the boat. I mean, what boat? I ain't no boat. I don't see no boat around here. You know, that's how naive and gullible I am. I don't understand their language. And, you know, reading through these books, I'm like, you know, when they say ruffian, you know, I mean the way they come up with the terminology, and then you get the legalities of a lot of things, and even like the Supreme Court, man, they say they had that no court has the Ten Commandments, but then you get up to the Supreme Court, they do, and then you get to these other places, and yeah, I probably am watching myself speak, as all of you guys are probably thinking. I don't know how to read minds, but I can actually put out a percentage of thought. I might be 40% right. I may be not totally right, but then again, when I am totally right, this is a lighter. Yeah, AC/DC, flick the switch. ITT, from where I go. I mean, I do flick the switch. I flick the switch on this camcorder so that I can read my mind into the thoughts of where I'm at from Franklin's point of view of electricity, of flying a kite, and getting a key to knowledge. And knowledge empowers you. Key. There's a lot of hidden antidotes. A stitch in time takes 9, meaning that, you know, if you don't cover that hole in your jeans now, you're going to have a bigger hole later, so take care of it now, or you're going to have to stitch those 9 stitches, you know, if you don't get it now. You know, correct the problem now, don't wait for it in the future, or it'll just be harder to fix. There's a lot of things that I don't understand what I did when I was 13 in this Kelly Tut class, but it has something to do with Tut, you know, the golden face. I read into it. I really do. I read out of it, into it, try to explain it to myself, make sense of it, and it's not worshiping anything. I'm not worshiping myself. I'm not worshiping anything. I'm just trying to have more clarity of understanding with what goes on in our world. And when I say our world, this beach ball, you know, the fun planet that we live on, and sometimes trying to survive. You know, it's raining out right now, and nature, returning back to nature, knowing that those leaves out there are providing our oxygen. They're filtering our oxygen. We got global warming, and it's not because of our human activities. It's because of the fact that there's something going on with the magnet. We're all living on a big, gigantic magnet. We've got a north and south pole that acts like a magnetosphere, and then you got a solar flare, and I can go on and on. But the thing I wanted to mention here is that there is some things I do know what I'm talking about, but there's also some things I have no clue what I'm saying. I'm probably talking within my subconscious mind. We all have that. But I also bring it forward to my conscience and have more of a clarity of understanding. So with that, I hope you've enjoyed some of these videos I posted. Look through my channel and look at all this other stuff I've found in esoteric language, and some of the stuff I don't agree with. Just because I post it don't mean I agree with it. And, you know, I'm just bringing attention to some things that I find interesting. Thank you.